extra brownie points. Coming 5 minutes early.
Woo!
Was you doing it all?
By the time Ben asked me to do one, there were more than 9 people that signed up, and he said the max they could take was 9, so I couldn't do it. If he wants me to run up there and talk about the topic he wants me to talk about, I can just go ahead and do it.
Okay, hi there.
Like external lighting. Someone couldn't be here today. Said they would like to do a remote one. He said as long as you, there's instructions if you want to do a remote one. So it'll be available for Q&A. Hopefully you can call me, but
say that and that's great because I've been ready, which is good. These guys do it. So that's oh my God.
Yeah, it's on already.
Actually, I want to do something on a similar topic. I'll just change it.
Yeah, go for it. I mean, you have a pitch day on anyway.
I'm just going to do a very short thing because earlier I was like, I really wish I could talk about other things. So now I can't. Gotta read slides, just for sure.
Okay, so we're going to get started. If people can hear me outside, they should come in and come sit down. Okay, we're getting started. Okay, so we're going to get started on the last set of lightning talks. We're going to do something different for one of them, which is this was a pre-recorded remote lightning talk. So it'll be a video. Those who have a lightning talk on the list here, just make sure you're kind of available and around here to jump in for the next one. I think we can go ahead and get started. People are coming in. Okay, so I might have to start this over based on the volume. So let's see if the volume's up enough, and then if it isn't, I'll restart it. Okay, are you ready?
Okay, hi there. Unfortunately, I could this year not join the Wikicite conference, but I thought maybe I can at least give here a short lightning talk. I would like to show you a Zotero plugin for open citations. So here you just see the GitHub page, so you can find the source code, but also kind of how to install it in your Zotero. And I just want to show you how this will look like. So here, that's my Zotero. I have here some sources, some references, which I have found in the literature search. And I want now here, can now click on context menu, check for open citations on first one, open citations. And this will call the copy service of open citations, and it will ask about citations which are known for this 4 references which I have just selected, and it will add some of them here in this subfolder, as you see. It's usually just the most recent one, but maybe also I have already some of them in my Zotero library, then it will also kind of try to make the connection. And additionally, it will also add here a note about the results from the Open Citations Service, and we see kind of the number of citations which were found, and for some of them also some more information, and for some others there are just the POIs. I can also try now to choose check for open citations on Wikicite, and we'll see then this is still a to-do. So if anyone would like to work on this or has some ideas, or just try it out and then find some ideas what is working or not, so you can just share them here also any pull requests or issues, and maybe I can then look at them later. So that's it, and enjoy hacking again.
Wasn't so bad, was it?
Totally worked.
Yay! We should just tell everybody to do that, and then it'll be much quicker and more streamlined. All right. So now we actually, since you're here in person, we have to find a timer. Can you guys hold this there? All right, so we have 3 minutes, and there you go.
I'm Brian Newbold. I'm an engineer at the Internet Archive. Our mission is universal access to all knowledge, and that means a lot. Mark, my coworker, gave an overview on Monday, and we just do a TV, we digitize stuff, we do books, we crawl the web, we do all kinds of stuff. I hope you can come if you've never been in person on Friday. It's a weird and wonderful old church we're in. And I'm working on a new project. We're doing papers. What does that mean? What is doing all the scholarly record of papers, doing it the archive way? So it means harvesting tons of content from the open web at scale. We're focusing mostly on content that's not preserved already. We're not trying to duplicate a lot of work. So digital, like born digital works, things like web pages, long tail content, things that are not STEM, like the humanities, things that are not in English, content that might otherwise be lost. There might not be another copy, and we can get it legally and provide perpetual access. That's one thing it means. It means automated tooling at scale. We run a cheap shop. We have a small number of people, so we mostly try to use tooling. And it means maximizing access within legal limits. So our mission is both to get a lot of content in and try to provide access to as many people as possible, but we respect the law as well. We do things forever, so we strive to be a platform that'll be around a long time. And we try to be a resource for others to build on top of, so not just kind of like a one-stop shop for everyone to come to us, but also put stuff out. Some of the components that are required for this project are like a necessary ingredient is a place to store files. We already have that. We crawl the web, it ends up in Wayback. People can upload content to archive.org. None of that changes. Something we need is a relatively completionist bibliographic corpus, so just metadata of what all works are. We at least need this to be able to say do we have it all? How are we doing? Do we have 10%? Do we have 20%? What's out there? An API, and we need to do a lot of work matching these files to records. The main sources we've had so far are getting content in from Crossref, Core, and Unpaywall. We're partnering with those organizations and a few others. We have lots of big numbers. We mostly have an API, but this is just to make it a little concrete. This is an example of a work, a paper. Here's a reference to a Wikidata entity. Here are the files that represent this, and then here's the locations. If you follow the DOI, you'd hit a paywall, but it's a green open access paper, so we can provide a copy that the author's uploaded. To bring it back to Wikicite, how does this tie in? There's a couple things I could be doing. I could be injecting links, as we're doing in a kind of hackathon today, links to full text copies of papers. We could be syncing bibliographic metadata record edits, or I can also operate as an API, so without inserting stuff, you can ask and I give metadata back. If you have feedback, super welcome on the data model and all kinds of things.
Who's next? Paula.
Hi, my name is Paula. I'm from Uruguay, a country next to Argentina. I don't speak English fluently, so I'm gonna read all through this talk. Autores.uy is an open database of Uruguayan authors that systematize previously dispersed or non-accessible information of Uruguayan authors and their works. It is built in such a way that information about the state of copyright is easily identifiable. In the case of authors whose works are in the public domain, bibliographic records and download links of the digitized works are included. Our team is interdisciplinary and based in volunteer work. At the moment, there are 10 of us, and most of us are also Wikipedians. As an example of collaboration with a Wikimedia project, all authors are integrated with Wikidata via the autores.uid property. For historical reasons, much of the work of authors from the Global South is found in GLAM institutions in Global North countries. In many cases, the countries where these works were published, they do not even have a copy of these works. Our only possibility of accessing them depends on the goodwill of the institutions that have them, in many cases in already digital format. I am going to give you 2 examples of the attempts we made to obtain digital copies of resources from Uruguayan authors abroad. In June 2016, we contacted the library of the University of California at Santa Barbara to request public domain recordings of their collection of phonographic cylinders. They kindly responded by telling us that we have to pay to get the audios. Second example, we host an internet archive the works that we digitize with our do-it-yourself scanner, and we also gather the Uruguayan works that they had digitized with other universities and archives. In April 2016, thanks to the communications with them, we gave them a list of Uruguayan authors whose works are in the public domain to get access to their works. They told us that they had 55 digitized books by authors who were on this list, and they would let us know when they were available. We didn't hear from them again despite our emails. We understand that these institutions must prioritize their task, and that our requests do not fall within these priorities. In our case, we also order our workflow according to priorities because the work is a lot and resources are scarce. But what the institutions of the Global North do not prioritize is our cultural heritage. The centralization of this work using tools like Wikidata, it is okay, and it is an open access initiative, but also approaching Wikimedia communities like the chapters in different countries and user groups like the Visitation user group. We can be the best at helping enriching the metadata, translating the how-to manuals, and do more. This is collaborative open access. So, thank you.
Works better. She wasn't taking time off my lightning talk, that is the next one, but I just wanted to add something to Paula's words, because 3 minutes is sometimes for a non-native English speaker too little, and for us it was too complicated to say so many things in just 3 minutes. But it's just a kind of a reflection on global and local problems nowadays. Global initiatives like Wikimedia are great for us, and this for countries like ours in the South is a great initiative. One of the problems that we face is how, when we are here, we take so many ideas, projects, and how to put them into practice in a local level. That is really complicated for us, and maybe we should think of I wouldn't say like best practices, but best ways in which all the things that maybe now we are learning here, getting in touch with others here, and trying to make them a reality when we go back to our countries. Maybe in this part of the day, in this next part of the sessions that we have, it would be great for us to see how we could improve and do more apart from the sessions and what we are doing with others, to see how we could continue working, not just the experience here, but to continue doing these things in our countries. So it was just that, and thank you very much.
So, about the ISSN, I'm from the ISSN International Center in Paris. We have been active for 40 years. We have more than 2 million ISSN records assigned by 90 ISSN national centers around the world, plus 60,000 each year. It's important to underline that there is a new ISSN for each significant type of change. It's a new branch of theology because it's a complex issue. A separate ISSN also for each medium version of a given serial publication, for instance, one for the print edition and one for the online version, which are linked together by the so-called ISSN, linking ISSN. We now have a new ISSN web portal. Each ISSN record is directly accessible on its own page, and the same for artificial ISSNL records. It's also important to stress that only basic information data has been liberated, unfortunately. The ISSN titled the country, the medium, the dates of publication, the URL, but not the links between the records. The full version of records is still paywalled. Except for so-called road records, which are records identifying open access journals. This is our new portal with some fancy geotagging, as is popular nowadays. Now, ISSN's Wikidata at first glimpse. My rough estimates, according to SparkUL queries, 50% of periodical entities of any kind have ISSN in Wikidata. 63,000 out of 130,000, which amounts to 90,000 distinct ISSNs, including 30,000 with linked article citations. Most entities lacking an ISSN in Wikidata probably have one assigned in the ISSN register. Most scholarly journals have them, but you should know that ISSNs are assigned to serials of any kind, magazines, newspapers, bulletins, blogs, and so on. So the ISSN International Center is ready to help curating ISSN data in Wikidata. Adequate workflows should be found with your help, as well as tools for the semi-automatic matching of orphans without ISSNs. It's about retrospective work on existing data, but also about filling the most important gaps in order to help with the orderly creation of missing periodical entities. We will probably need the help of a Wikidata and some discussions concerning the best way to enrich the existing data model. Thank you.
Hello. Do we have the next speaker?
Can you do the next one first, since you're standing there?
What is the next one? Is the next one me? Oh, the next one's me. Oh, no problem. The next one's me. I could have improvised. And I apologize.
Yes. I can start already? I
Go
don't know,
for
what's
it.
the time for that?
Go. Great.
Maybe it's a kind of interview we have now, because 2 years ago in Berlin, my colleague Lambert was presenting the kick-off of our NOAA project. I presented his name. And now we have another cool project just kicking off now, and it's a proposal my colleagues came up with when I was in Cambridge for summer. So I'm not really involved here in the proposal writing, but now in our, and yeah, it's about citations and metrics and the effects on researchers. It's I think that's interesting to us here. So open scientific metrics indicators, and yeah, we are not guided through with its problems here. So for institutions, research groups, and especially for the scholars, this evaluation is crucial and is also important for the pressure on their careers and decisions also for institutions setting for them. But those metrics are criticized, as you know, for many years already, and I mean, the journal impact factor, for instance, H-index, it is different from source to source. And that's the second problem here. If you look up your H-index in different sources, you will see different numbers, as you know. So that is reproducibility of all this is, it should be reviewed with resolution. And the third problem is there are a lot of visualization here, and you've seen pool bonds already, and you have Sculia and so on, but also this profile pages of researchers. And nobody is asking really the researcher or the scholars about their preferences. And that's where our project is jumping in. Now it just kicked off at TIB. Third-party funded, as always, we don't have partners here, we are the only ones. It's running for 2 years, and we are reviewing now potential data sources and evaluating them. And I mean, also Wikidata is an object, Cross-Serve event data, and others. And and then we are also interviewing. We are having focus groups of researchers. And then we are really doing a reference implementation after this, collecting all the information and implementation based on the data and this collected requirements. And of course we will make it totally available and for reuse and so on. And we watch out for this, what's coming up in 2 years at the Wikicite conference, and the private projects results will be presented. So that's it. And another thing very is just sitting there in front. We have this Wikivism is a community-owned collective infrastructure, yes, and this is our blog just running an editorial theme that will be interesting for this community. Yeah, it will be a conference report, hopefully, from you. And thank you.
Okay, so the next one's me, so I can take it on. I'm in group 2. Alright, so, how many people here know what, I've ever heard of, or know, I guess more about, know what software carpentry is? Okay. How many people here know what data carpentry is? How many people here know that those two carpentries merged and they're now called the carpentries? How many people know why? Okay, so the carpentries, I am not officially affiliated with the carpentries at all, but I think most people who love the carpentries are not either. The carpentries were originally two different organizations, data and software carpentry, and in the past year they've spent time to combine forces into one organization, and so now their Twitter handle and their domain, everything is thecarpentries.org. And one of the reasons for that is because really the thing that brings the carpentries together is the methodology of teaching and bringing people together, and the train-the-trainer idea, and the fact that the lessons come from the community. One of the things that had happened while those two groups were combining forces was that there was a fledgling group called Library Carpentries that was just kind of a grassroots librarian-led initiative to do stuff in the same way that data and software carpentries have been doing, but for librarians, teaching librarians data skills and librarian skills. And what's great about the carpentries merging is that it leaves an opportunity for additional carpentry lesson organizations to come under the fold. So actually, about a month ago, Library Carpentry became the Third Carpentries underneath this new branded The Carpentries. What that means is that there is now formal support for kind of creating additional lessons, creating more support for train the trainer throughout the libraries, and for there to be more focus on library skills training. And so the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because when we talk about library skills training, we're really talking about bibliographic, bibliometric, kind of information science type training. And when people are sitting in a classroom and they're talking about how they're going to teach each other how to do those types of things better, they need data sets and they need to think about how they're going to use stuff. And right now, when I'm involved in library carpentry workshops, we're using spreadsheets and we're using really kind of dumb data sets, and it would be great for Wikidata to be the source for all of the lessons within library carpentry. Thank you.
Hi there, Martin from Los Alamos. So I have good news and bad news. The good news is it's only 3 minutes, so it can't be that bad. The bad news is links die. Stuff on the web disappears all the time. We know that. We've done a ton of studies on link rot, on content drift, so we know the situation is really, really bad, right? But it's even worse because it's not just my puppy pictures that disappeared, it's entire web archives that disappear, right? Has anyone heard of mummify.it before? A web archive that completely disappeared. Similarly, the Internet Memory Foundation in Europe, a large archive in Europe, just stopped working and left the entire web archiving program of the National Library of Ireland and the Scottish National Archive in the dark. A whole bunch of URIs are now full 4. Awesome. So what does this mean? My point is there's nothing inherently persistent about a web archive. At the end of the day, it's just a website with a whole bunch of URIs. So what does that mean for our ways of referencing stuff? Well, that's really where robust links come in. Our proposal to use standard HTML attributes to robustify links. The website is there if you're interested in learning more about this. What this can look like in practice is regular HTML link, right? The original URL of this link is in the href attribute. That's good. There's another attribute that's called data-version URL, standard HTML, not inventing anything new, that conveys the URL of the archive snapshot of that resource, right? And the third attribute there is data-version date, which is the date the link was created. These are 3 essential pieces of information that you need to convey in a robust link. If you throw away the original URL, just keep the URL of the archived resource, you're just replacing one link rot problem with the other. What you can do with this sort of robust link is, in practice, have either convince browsers to act on these links, or with a little bit of JavaScript, you can click on this link, you can still go to the original resource, you can get to the archived resource that you created while linking, and you can you can try to find an archived copy of that link in a different web archive, which is why you need the original and the linked datetime. So now you have 2 fail-safe approaches in case stuff just goes wrong, right? So we know that the Internet Archive is already, thankfully, archiving a ton of links that go out from Wikipedia pages, which is great. The data is there, the link date is there, so now let's just convey this whole thing in a standardized, simple, and machine actionable way so we can actually act on these things in case they disappear. That was my spiel, thank you.
Middle of the page. Slides again, and then slides. Excellent. Hi, I'm going to talk about Tabernacle and the Magnus Man's software development lifecycle. My adventures with Magnus, and they are literally adventures with Magnus. So this is a tale of mirth and awesome. So I was very privileged to be invited down to Brazil for their Wikidata lab, and it just so happened Magnus was invited too. So we spent the whole weekend together, June 9th through 10th, working with Brazilians and Wikidata. And we had fun working with the Brazilians, but also looking around and spending time in Sao Paulo. And we got down to some really cool stuff, and Magnus was showing some tools that he thought would be useful, including some that he hadn't touched for a while and just happened to mention them and say, you might be interested in this. And he mentioned this tool called Tabernacle. And I said, that looks awesome, because I've never seen it before, and I've never seen anyone demo this tool before. So he showed it really quickly, just like, whatever. I said, this is great, it's really cool. You can put in queue numbers, put in a property list, and you can edit, not just look at content, you can edit the result of a Sparkle query. I said, well, that's really neat. But, it's pretty rudimentary, but it was much more powerful than anything you could find out there. So you can edit things live, but still need some features. So you couldn't edit descriptions, you couldn't edit aliases, you could edit properties, but that's about it. So on Telegram, after the conference was over, I was starting to use it with Glenn, organization, said, this is great, but Magnus, wonder if there's a way to edit descriptions in Tabernacle. And he said, not yet, I'll need to put some serious work into that tool at some point. This was September 11th. Okay, just wanted to make sure I didn't want to push it. Some other folks said, yeah, that'd be great. I need to put some serious work into that tool at some point. repeat. I need to put some serious work in that tool at some point. 11 days later. 11 days later. Rewrote. That's all he wrote. That's all he did. Rewrote the tool. Look at the tool. It's pretty damn awesome. That's what you can do now. You can do all this stuff, multilingual, drag and drop, do all kinds of cool stuff with it. You can edit description, aliases, you can do multilingual support, images, red links, highlighting missing info, live edition of columns, drag and drop, anything. If you click on it live, you can go ahead and play with it. Pretty darn amazing. And you go in here, you can move columns back and forth live, you can add new properties a second time if you want, and you can drag and drop things and claims to duplicate them. Pretty awesome. So he just didn't have, whoops, where am I going? Did I close my whole thing? No, I closed my whole thing. Okay, wait. There we go, back in. All right, so what did we learn from this exercise? One is find Magnus on Telegram. He seems to get things done, but be nice. Don't be too mean to him, right? So we use this tool for some collaboration with the Brazilian museums after the museum fire, which is pretty amazing. So there's immediate need for this tool. So just lastly, find Magnus, be nice. Brazilians are awesome. Send Magnus to Brazil more often. Keep funding face-to-face meetups. Magnus, please don't get hit by a bus. That's it.
Maybe. Be nice to us, y'all.
Please, please.
All right. So. Now we're starting. I'm Phoebe Ayers. This is Meg Watcha. Thank you for listening to our presentation.
Yes, we know it's a long day, so we are bringing back the Wiki Joy with the Wiki Jokes. So a citation walks into a bar.
That's ridiculous. Citations don't drink.
Ha ha ha. Okay.
That's your line. Meg,
Knock knock.
who's there?
Oh, just me. Q3179617.
Who's that? Oh, so nice to meet you. An item walks into a bar, goes behind the bar, and picks up a bottle.
Hey, says the bartender, you can't take that. It's not your property.
Hey, Megan, where do ontologists go to buy their three-piece suits?
Where, Phoebes?
The Triple Store.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
DOI.
GOI who?
Dio, I'm an identifier.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
P31.
B31 who?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Meg, why does the Internet Archive like golf so much?
Why?
Well, they like to go out on the links.
Did you hear about the ontologist who queried her girlfriend?
No, what'd she say?
Where'd you get those sparkle eyes?
Hey, mind your P's and Q's.
Why did the chicken cross the road?
Why?
Q1324130.
Oh, what's that? Oh, that's unfortunate.
Hey, is that Magnus crossing the road?
No, don't cross the road, Magnus. You might get hit by a bus.
How many wicked natives does it take to screw in a light bulb?
Well, we don't know, but we'll have to ask the community, and anyone's welcome to participate. What did the Wikipedians say when they found a full-text PDF?
Oh boy, this is the genuine article. Hey, Phoebe, this article, this genuine article, has so many facts about marine life.
Really? Do you think they're all up to date?
I don't know, they might need verification.
Citation needed! Thank you very much. We'll be here all night. Can I just say, thanks very much to our assistants.
I think that's it. Okay, so up next is. What do you think? What's up next? We're doing. So for more doing, there should be more claiming. There should be more projects thinking about where they want to meet up or letting their project teams know. And so we have, starting now till around 2:30, working on projects, and make sure that you spend some time on documentation at the end. Questions? Comments?
I just wanted to encourage. We have an interesting project going on. I'm trying to look at you, Mahmoud and Stephen, that didn't get pitched this morning, and I thought maybe if there's a moment for them to quickly say what they're doing. Sure.
We have 3 minutes.
Alright, it shouldn't need that, but basically, yeah, Stephen had a work meeting and Bart was kind of weird. I missed the train. Anyway, so let's see. What we're doing is we are we have Pete's go ahead on Wiki Project newspapers to go ahead and just add some Wiki database citations. So we did it, you know, I believe Herald Guard, Register Guard. All these newspapers we've been looking at. The Register Guard now has 7 footnotes that point to a brand spanking new Wikidata item that is a book. I could probably pull it up, but I mean, I will, I guess. Let's see if it's been reverted over lunch. But no, I mean, it looks pretty kosher. And yeah, so like if I hit up the bottom of this, I was sent this at the end. Anyways, yeah, look at all these QIDs down here. Yeah, so anyways, we're gonna keep doing that for the most part. And we have like a document and tasks, and we're going to kind of make a dashboard for Wiki Project campaigns in order to track progress of like adding info boxes and references and percentage of how many of those are Wikidata driven. If that sounds interesting to you, we will be in the back corner of the gallery right here. We have power strip, everything you need. All right, did I say anything, Stephen? Sounds good. All right, thank you all.
So, time to do. It's our do-a-thon day. Let's do it.
We're mix and match next door if anyone wants to do it.
Hey there, I'm gonna grab that. You wanna move over here and then or move down here? I'll move over.